Hi, I'm Christy. Today I want to talk to you about how laughter sustains the special needs life. Now, as the weirdness that is 2020 continues on, I find myself trying to figure out how to find the positives. Now, that's something that I've been working on to make a habit in the past few years. Now, while I don't want to ignore the negatives or the hard times, I've discovered that my life is happier and I'm more content when I focus on the positive. So I thought I'd start a new series about ways that I've found for finding those positives. I'm sure most of them won't be new to you, and hopefully you're already incorporating many of them into your life. But if not, well, maybe this will serve as a little kick in the butt or a reminder that it's something to think about. So let's start first by appreciating laughter and the funny things that happen in our families. Now, as we continue spending almost all of our time together, I'm finding that one of two things tends to happen. Either we get irritated with each other really quickly, or we find things that we enjoy doing together. Now, I know it's easier, especially on those days, to just allow ourselves to get easily irritated and just pick at each other all day long. The problem is that most of those days, they quickly degrade to the point that everyone is having a bad day. And so I'd argue it's really not the easier solution. On the other hand, on those days that I choose to find the good in life, especially the funny things that we can laugh at together, those are the days that memories are made and that I want to remember. Okay, let's be honest here. When you live with special needs, laughter is not necessarily hard to find. Okay, in all honesty, when you live with kids, laughter is not necessarily hard to find. But as your kids grow up, those cute things they do disappear, and that laughter isn't necessarily quite as in your face. But when your loved one has special needs, especially if there's any level of mental impairment, that growing up doesn't necessarily happen at the same pace. This means that those cute things don't completely go away, even as your loved one approaches adulthood. For example, AJ still struggles with pronouncing words clearly at times. Now, he's come a long way, and he's generally pretty understandable. But every once in a while, he comes up with a word that is just cute, or it makes us laugh at the way he says it. Okay, let me stop and be clear here. While we may or may not laugh in his presence, we are in no way laughing at him. We're not making fun of him. We're just laughing at what he says or does. So, the recent example. A number of months ago, my husband started making Bulgogi for dinner, and we love it. Can't get enough of it. And then AJ decided he didn't like it. And then we convinced him that he did. But that's a whole nother story. Here's my point. When he started talking about it, he started calling it a boogie. Not Bulgogi, a boogie. Now, it took us a bit to figure out what he was saying. But we thought it was funny, and so we'd chuckle as if he meant, and asked him if he'd meant Bulgogi, usually over-enunciating it so he could hear it pronounced correctly. Over time, that morphed into bull, and now it's Bulgogi. Yes, the really long pauses are there as he processes how to pronounce each syllable. And on the one hand, I'm thrilled that he's making progress in pronouncing it correctly. On the other hand, I'm a bit disappointed that a boogie is now gone. Although I have to admit, it's not completely gone. I still use it when talking to my husband sometimes, and it makes me chuckle every time I think about it. So how does this apply to you? Here's a few thoughts. First, look for those things that you want to remember from your loved one's life. You know, those things that you'll chuckle about or treasure forever, like a boogie. Second, watch for things that they do every day that make you chuckle. Or better yet, stop and belly laugh together. And then, look for another one tomorrow. Third, find something that they enjoy and see if it's something that you could enjoy the same way or maybe in a similar way. And finally, look for an activity, or better yet, multiple activities that you enjoy doing together. Or go discover a new activity that makes you both laugh. Maybe it's as simple as blowing bubbles or using sidewalk chalk. All of this leads to my question for this week. What do you most laugh about that your loved one says or does? I'd love to hear your experiences. You can leave me a comment below or over on the blog. That's at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This originally posted in August of 2020. As always, I'd appreciate it if you'd share this with anybody you think would find it helpful. I'd love to help as many families as I can. Over on the website, there's a couple cheat sheets that I think you might find helpful. You can sign up with your email address and get them for free. Signing up will also let you know about all newly released content as soon as it's available. I'm looking for ways to laugh with AJ so that we can both continue to say that life is good and there is never a dull moment.